What's happening, everybody? It's Rob from the Basement Bike Shop, and in this video I'm going to show you how to lace BMX wheels. Now the wheels we're lacing today are 36 spoke, and we're going to lace them in a 3-cross pattern, and that's your standard spoke count and lacing for most of your BMX wheels today. Now let's look at all the parts we're going to need for this, starting with the rim. The rim we're using is an Odyssey quadrant. It's a 36 hole rim, and you can see that the holes are offset because every other spoke goes to one side of the hub and the other ones go to the other side of the hub. There is a valve hole by the O in Odyssey where the valve stem comes through, and this rim is double walled, which means that there's a wall between where the tube sits against the rim and where the spokes, the nipples, hook into the rim. Next, we look at the hub. Now the hub has to have the same amount of holes as the rim, so this is a 36 hole hub, and the only thing we have to look at for this is the flanges, where all the little holes are through. There's a right side flange and a left side flange, and your spokes will alternate inside and outside on each flange, and all of your outside spokes will go one way and all of your inside spokes will go the other way. But we'll get more into that later. Now, if you don't already have your spokes, you'll need to get the right size spokes. There are many different spoke calculators online where you enter the type of rim, the type of hub, how many spokes, and what lacing you're going to do, and it'll tell you exactly what size spoke you need. Now, spokes usually come with the nipples, which are the little threaded nuts that go on the end of the spoke to connect it to the rim. Or you can order your own nipples. They come in many different colors. Before we get started, I just want to say I don't lace like anyone else I've ever met. And the reason being is that I'm self-taught. When I was 12 years old, I wanted to lace my own wheels, so I just looked at another wheel and reverse engineered it. So I first looked at all of the spokes, and besides all the stuff we talked about, the spokes alternating coming out of the hub, all the outside spokes going one way, all the inside spokes going the other way, I noticed that each spoke crossed 3 other spokes, which is why it's called a 3-cross pattern. And on the last cross, it flipped, and the inside spoke went to the outside, and outside one went to the inside. And also where the valve stem came out was between 2 crosses, allowing you the maximum amount of room to reach the valve stem with your pump or air compressor. So concentrating on the 3rd cross and only working with one side of the hub at a time, we're going to put in the 2 spokes that go next to each other in the rim. And by next to each other, I mean every other one, because every other spoke in the rim goes to the other side of the hub. And because all the spokes that come out of one side of the flange go one way and all the spokes that come out of the other side of the flange go the other way, like we discussed earlier, for these 2 spokes to cross, one of them has to come out of the inside of the flange and one of them has to come out of the outside of the flange. Now, I really don't think it matters which spoke comes out of which, as long as it's the same in orientation to the back of the bike. What I mean by that is, if my outside spoke that comes off the outside of the flange points to the back of the bike, then when I get to the other side of the wheel, I'm actually going to lace it opposite so that that outside spoke also points to the back of the bike. But enough talk, let's get to the lacing. You're going to start by putting one spoke through. I'm putting my outside spoke through that goes to the back of the bike. And then with 4 holes in between, you'll put your other spoke through the other way. This one will go to the inside of the flange. And then I'll take the inside spoke and put it over the top of the outside spoke. Then we're going to put it into the 2 holes that are next to each other in the rim. And again, when I say next to each other, I mean every other one in correspondence with this side of the hub. Because you'll see that they're offset, so only half of them go to this side of the hub. We're going to start as close to the valve stem as we can. We'll either be right next to it or one hole away for the other side. And then we'll put the nipples on and just screw them on part way to secure it. Then I'm going to turn the wheel around and do one set on the other side that interlocks this one without covering up the valve stem. Now the holes on the other side of the hub are offset to the holes on this side of the hub. So depending on if I have to get one closer to the valve stem or I'm already up against it, will depend on if I go a little to the right or a little to the left. Now remember, if your inside spoke points to the front of the bike on the other side, then your inside spoke will point to the front of the bike on this side. Now you can see we went a little to the right to get right up next to that valve hole. And now we know that all of the rest of the lacing will not cover up that valve hole. And we're ready to do the rest of the wheel. And now we're going to lace one whole side before we jump to the other side. So to continue lacing, we're going to maintain the same pattern, so to speak, of inside spoke on the left, outside spoke on the right. We're going to skip a hole and then put in our next inside spoke. Now make sure you don't go through the center of the cross on the other side or your spoke will be stuck. You have to kind of angle it over. And then we'll put in our outside spoke with 4 holes in between. Or that one you can just skip a hole from the last one. It'll be the same. Inside spoke goes over the outside spoke, same as the first cross. And then this will go to the next 2 holes in the rim. And again, when I say next 2 holes, I mean next 2 holes on this side of the rim, which will be every other hole. And then we'll just continue on with the same pattern. We'll skip a hole in the hub, 4 holes away, put our other spoke in, maintain the same inside spoke on the left, outside spoke on the right, or whatever your wheel is. Go to the next available holes. We'll speed this up a little bit. And we're just going to give the nipples a couple of turns just so that they secure and hold the spoke without falling off. Now if you're working with double walled rims, you have to be careful to not drop the nipple into the cavity in between the 2 walls of the rim. It's a real pain to get out. But if you do it, try and work the nipple back to the valve hole. It's probably the easiest way to get it back out. And then once we finish this side, we'll flip the wheel around and continue the pattern on the other side. Now remember, on this side, the pattern is opposite. Your outside spoke is on the left and your inside spoke is on the right. And this is so the outside spoke on both sides points to the back of the bike or the front of the bike. Your pattern is still going to go the same. 4 holes in between, skip a hole when you put in the next one, and then your inside spoke will cross over the top of the outside spoke. The thing about the second side is your inside spokes are going to be a little more tricky due to the fact that all the spokes on the other side. So what I do is I aim for the closest big gap, which is the one that goes all the way to the rim. And I shove my spoke through that way with the curve pointed upward. And then bend the spoke a little bit, but try and bend it gradual. Try not to kink the spoke. And then just continue that pattern all the way around. Now, some people say that my method is a bit more complicated, but I think it's easy to follow and it's not so cumbersome as having a whole bunch of spokes all coming through the same way. And then if you ever want to do like a 4-cross pattern, it's pretty much the same thing, except you're going to put 6 holes in between each spoke in the hub instead of 4. And that will make 4 of them cross each spoke. But I feel that that's really been phased out because 3 cross can be strong enough for anything you need, and it doesn't add the extra weight of the 4 cross. And the same goes for the 48 hole wheels. I mean, it's added strength, but you're also adding weight. So you have to figure out, is the trade-off worth it? And I find that the 36 hole in a 3 cross pattern is probably the best trade-off weight for strength that there is. Now these last couple spokes are always the trickiest, especially the one that goes to the inside. Because you don't want to kink the spoke, but you have to bend it probably the most out of any of them, and also weave it in between 4 spokes and try not to scratch the rim at the same time. And I'll show you how I do that. I can try to put a big arc on it. Go past the first spoke, second one, third one, and out. Straighten that out a little better. And then put those last spokes in. And now your lacing is done. Next, we're going to tighten this rim up. I'm going to put it on my truing stand. And then I'm just going to go through and tighten it up so that the same amount of thread is showing underneath the nipple. So whether that be like a millimeter of thread, or I run it so that it's just no thread touching, just so that I tighten it up all the same. And you can use a spoke wrench for this, possibly even a flathead screwdriver. I have this nifty nipple tool for lacing. And we're just going to go through, get them all the same. And then after that, just add the same amount of turns to each spoke. So whether it's a half a turn and then go around and do a half a turn each spoke, just so that you keep tightening it evenly until the wheel starts to snug up. And then we'll start checking it with the truing stand to see if we have to start pulling it one way or the other as we're tightening it, or if we have to start pulling a hop out. So after the spokes are a bit more snug, we'll check our wheel. And how we do that is we move the caliper on the truing stand as close to one side as we can without it hitting. Same goes for if you only have one caliper, or if your calipers are off center like mine. And then turn the wheel around, tighten the wheel up the same amount, and then see where your caliper is now. And this will tell you how far off center it is. Looks like the wheel has to be pushed the other way, so we'll turn the wheel back around. And if we need to tighten it anymore, we'll tighten the opposite side a little more than that side, so it pulls the wheel closer to center. At this point, you're going to want to watch the truing video I posted last week, and this will show you how to tighten it up just that little bit more, how to get the hop out, how to get the rim true and keep it centered at the same time, all that good stuff. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, you can leave me a comment or you can send me an email. If you like what I'm doing here, hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and I'll keep these videos coming. I try to put out a video a week, but I've been a little bit busy lately, so they might be a little bit late. If you don't want to miss it, you can turn on your alerts so you'll be notified, since my upload schedule is a little bit erratic. As summer creeps in, I plan on getting into some how to do trick videos, so that should be fun. Thanks again.